last lecture of EM theory. Before we start, let me introduce myself. Myself Rinki Bhoumik, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, GIS College of Engineering. This is the 8th lecture of EM theory. Today we are going to discuss about EM, means electromagnetic wave equation in free space. Free space means vacuum space. So how the electromagnetic wave equation looks in free space, that equation we have to discuss, and also we have to derive. So we'll do the derivation today. So this is the derivation. Here first in the last class we discussed about Maxwell's equations in free space. So there were 4 equations. I hope all of you can remember. This is nabla dot A equal to 0. This is the first equation where E is the electric field. Nabla dot B equal to 0. B is the magnetic field. Nabla cross E plus del B by del T equal to 0. This is the third equation. And the fourth equation is nabla cross E minus epsilon naught mu naught del E by del T equal to 0. These are the 4 equations. These are called Maxwell's equations in free space. If it was not free space, then it would be mu epsilon, not mu naught epsilon naught. So these are the 4 equations, Maxwell's equations in free space. Now we have to convert, means we have to first get the free space wave equation in electric field E. Now how to get this wave equation in electric field E? First we have to consider this third equation, nabla cross E plus del B by del T equal to 0. Now if we take curl both sides, it's written here, in taking curl of third equation we get, okay. So if we take both sides curl, then nabla cross E plus del T of nabla cross B is equal to nabla dot E, nabla of nabla dot E minus nabla square E plus del T nabla cross B equal to 0. Now there is a formula actually, A cross B cross C equal to B of A dot C. See, B equal to here nabla, B of A dot C. A dot C means nabla dot E. B of A dot C back minus cap C. C means E of A dot B, nabla dot nabla. So nabla square E. So this is nabla square E. Now back minus cap. In short we can also say like this, back minus cap, to remember it well. So nabla of nabla dot E minus nabla square E plus del T of nabla cross B equal to 0. Equation 4th and 1st means if we look at 4th equation is nabla cross B minus mu naught epsilon naught del E by del T equal to 0. This is the 4th equation, and the first equation is nabla dot E equal to 0. So if we put these two equations over here, nabla dot E equal to 0, that means the first term will be gone, and also nabla cross B equal to mu naught epsilon naught del E by del T. So if we put it over here, this one, if we put it over here, then finally we can get it like nabla square E minus mu naught epsilon naught del square E by del T square. This is the free space wave equation in electric field E. Now this same method will apply for also to derive the free space wave equation in the magnetic field B. Okay, so here are 4 equations. By these 4 equations, by these 4 Maxwell's famous equations, we can first derive the free space Maxwell's equation. Now we are going to prove the free space wave equation in magnetic field B. So here, this is the wave equation of the magnetic field B. If we go to the previous slide, we can see this was the free space wave equation in electric field D, nabla square E minus mu naught epsilon naught del square E del T square, and here nabla square B minus mu naught epsilon naught del square B by del T square. Now how to prove it? Totally same method. Now these are the four equations: nabla dot E equal to 0, nabla dot B equal to 0, nabla cross E plus del B by del T equal to 0, and nabla cross B minus mu naught epsilon naught del B by del T equal to 0. These are the four Maxwell's equations. Now if we take curl of the fourth equation, in the last slide if we go there, then we can see here we had taken the curl of the third equation. So here we will take the curl of the fourth equation. So nabla cross B minus mu naught epsilon naught del T of nabla cross E. So this is again that formula: A cross B cross C equal to B of A dot C minus C of A dot B, means back minus cat. So if we do it over there, then finally we can, if we use third and second equation, if we go to the previous slide, there we use first and fourth equations, okay, and here we are using third and second equation, which is nabla cross equal to minus del B by del T and nabla dot B equal to 0. These are the two equations, okay. So if we apply these two equations over here, where nabla cross equal to minus del B by del T and nabla dot B equal to 0, so then finally we are getting nabla square B minus epsilon naught mu naught del square B del T square equal to 0. If we check, then we can see both slides, means both the derivation have the same method, okay. So if we apply the same method, then we can get easily, or we can derive free space wave equation in magnetic field B and free space wave equation in electric field B. Now we'll derive the velocity of light. Now how to derive it? First of all, nabla square E minus mu naught epsilon naught del square E del T square. So this equation we derived previously. Now if we take three components, nabla square Ex minus mu naught epsilon naught del square Ex del T square. This is X component, this is Y component, this is Z component. Now if we compare this with this wave equation, this is the general wave equation: del square psi del x square minus 1 by mu square del square psi, or 1 by v square del square psi del t square equal to 0. So if we compare this equation with it, then what we are getting, v equal to 1 by root over of mu naught epsilon naught. This is the velocity of the electromagnetic wave. So by comparing these two equations, we are getting the velocity of the electromagnetic wave. Now epsilon naught equal to this and mu naught equal to this. So if we put these two values over here, then we can get the velocity of the electromagnetic wave, which is nothing but the velocity of light. We can take, okay. So by this method, this is the method to calculate the velocity of any electromagnetic wave. Though light is also the electromagnetic wave, as we know. So here nabla square Bx minus mu naught epsilon naught del square Bx del T square equal to 0. Nabla square By minus mu naught epsilon naught del square By by del T square equal to 0. Nabla square Bz minus mu naught epsilon naught del square Bz by del T square equal to 0. So these are the three components of the free space wave equation in magnetic field B. So this is about the calculation of the velocity of the electromagnetic wave, and these are the free space wave equation in electric field E and free space wave equation in the magnetic field B. So I hope all the derivation for today is clear to all of you. You have to practice well at least 4 to 5 times, so that it can be clear to all of you. So thank you for today. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Now this is the electromagnetic wave. Now electromagnetic wave means simply, as we can say, that there will be electric field as well as magnetic field. Now from the figure, as we can see, there are two components. You see, this is suppose horizontal component, then this is the vertical component. Now Along the horizontal component, along this horizontal component, the magnetic field is there, and along the vertical component, the electric field is there. Okay, and this is the lambda distance between these two keys, that is called wavelength, which we know from our childhood. So this is about the wavelength. Now this is the direction x, y, z. This is horizontal, this is vertical component along horizontal direction. Since we are discussing about today the electromagnetic wave equation, that's why we should have clear idea about the electromagnetic wave. So this is about the components of the electromagnetic wave, and there are two components. One is electric field and another is magnetic field. This is nabla cross E equal to, this is actually back minus cap. B means, if we consider this nabla as A, this nabla as B, and this nabla as C, then B of A dot C, okay, minus cap means C of A dot B. That means minus nabla square E is equal to minus mu del T of nabla cross E. That is substitute in Ampere's law. Substitute of Ampere's law means integration over B dot dl equal to mu naught I, as we know. Okay, so in that case we can write nabla cross H equal to J. That we can prove from Ampere's law. So that's why it is written here that substitute in Ampere's law. So here minus mu del T of nabla cross H equal to minus mu del T of del D by del T plus J. J is 0 because source free region. Here we are considering that it is source free region. So that means if there is no source, that means J will be obviously 0. That means the current is 0. Now D equal to epsilon E, therefore D equal to epsilon E, del E by del T. So del T of del E by del T is equal to del square E by del T square. So finally, from here we are getting nabla square E equal to mu epsilon del square E by del T square. So here again I am telling A cross B cross C equal to B of A dot C minus C of A dot B. That is minus nabla square E. Now minus mu del T nabla cross H minus mu del T of del D by del T plus J, where J equal to 0. So therefore this is the vector wave equation. Vector wave equation telling because E here is the electric field, which is nothing but the vector quantity. Next, here is actually this is the application. Now a numerical is given here. The numerical is the magnetic field component of an electromagnetic wave propagating in free space is given by, here H means magnetic field component, that is given here. H equal to 10 sine 10 to the power 8 plus beta x a y cap ampere per meter. So here beta is constant, called the wave number of the electromagnetic wave. Now what you have to determine here, determine the maximum magnetic field intensity, maximum, okay, the cyclic frequency that is N, and the wavelength that is lambda. Now how we can do this numerical? What you have to do here, you just have to compare this equation with the general wave equation of the magnetic field. Okay, so if you compare it, then you can get the cyclic frequency magnetic field intensity. Okay, this is the procedure. Next is the wave equation. Describes the propagation of traveling waves in a medium for the given electromagnetic wave. The magnetic field satisfies the following equation. So here the wave equation you have to prove, which we had already done in my last slide. So if you go through that, then you can get it. So this is about the problem or application. Now from this numerical, what we came to know that we have to remember the formula, of course. But if we don't remember the formula, then we cannot do this numerical. Okay, so that's why I always tell to whenever you do any derivation, you must remember the result, because remembering the result is very important to do any numerical. This is electromagnetic waves, means this equation already we proved, where nabla square B is the magnetic induction, minus mu naught epsilon del square B del T square equal to 0, where the wave equation with velocity equal to 1 by mu naught epsilon. In free space, epsilon equal to epsilon naught. Okay, now because here chi, that is relative permittivity, equal to 1. Now if we put C equal to 1 by root over of mu naught epsilon naught, that is free space, because as here if we put the value of mu naught means the permittivity, means permeability in free space, and epsilon naught is the permittivity in free space. So if we put the values correspondingly, then we can get the velocity of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. This is about the electromagnetic wave. Now, if the question you have to attend this, why or how we can prove the velocity of light, in that case you have to follow this method. Now depends on the marks. If the marks is 2, then only this few lines are enough to do. But if the marks is 5, then obviously you have to prove this equation. Then you can write it, that comparing the equation with the equation of the waves, and by the similarity we can get v square equal to 1 by mu naught epsilon naught. Therefore we can write v equal to c equal to 1 by root over of mu naught epsilon naught, and then if we put the value, then we can get this value of the velocity of light. So this is the procedure. Next, here electromagnetic waves satisfy all the Maxwell's equations considered in free space, where U1 equal to x cap cos omega t minus ky, and E2 equal to z cap cos omega t minus kz, and E3 equal to x cap plus z cap cos of omega t plus k mod of z minus x by root 2, and E4 equal to x cap plus z cap cos omega t plus k mod of this. So these are the electromagnetic waves satisfy the wave equation. Now Maxwell's equations. Now there are some problems. Do this electric field vector satisfy the wave equation? Now what you have to do here, obviously you have to put all the expressions of this equation. Then you have to check whether you are getting 0 or not. Okay, if you do the derivative, this is double derivative. Now what is the relationship between omega and k, that also you can get it, and find the corresponding magnetic field vectors, for which the 5 field vectors for each of the electric field vector. Now you have to remember the relation between the magnetic field and the electric field, obviously. So you have to remember that one. Which of the 5 fields qualify as electromagnetic waves? For those not qualified as electromagnetic waves, you should state which of the Maxwell's equations are violated. Now show that for those qualified electromagnetic waves, the electric and magnetic field vector are perpendicular to the direction and of propagation. So all this problem, this is your assignment, okay? So you try to solve it first yourself, then I'll help you. Next, this is another, here actually different component is given here. Del Hx by del t equal to 1 by mu naught del Uy by del z, and here del Hx by del z equal to epsilon naught del Uy by del t, and here del Hy, because here y, if it is y, then obviously Ey will be x, that is given here, Ex. Now if this is y, actually if this relation, if this is the relation between the magnetic intensity and electric field. So many times this kind of problem also comes where if we go to the previous slide, where you have to use the relation between magnetic field and electric field. So see, you can get that relation from here, okay, you can get the relation from here also. So this is very important here. You must use it, means you have to use this relation to do the numerical which is given in the last slide. Now in free space, as we know that rho is nothing but the volume charge density, which I said in my last lecture. There is the current density, that is 0. Now mu equal to mu naught. So nabla cross E plus del t nabla cross B equal to 0. So A cross B cross C equal to back minus cap plus del t of nabla cross mu naught H equal to 0. So here, since nabla dot E equal to 0, therefore nabla square E equal to mu naught epsilon del square E del t square. So if we compare it with the equation, then nabla square H equal to obviously 1 by C square del square H del t square. So if we go to the previous slide, here as we had to prove this relation, so the proof is already has been given here, so you can follow it easily. Nabla square H equal to mu naught epsilon naught del square H by del t square. So you, for that you have to start from this equation. Now here A cross B cross C, again as I said, if this is nabla equal to A, this nabla equal to B, this nabla equal to C, then back minus cap, that means B of A dot C plus minus C of A dot B, back minus, here is minus plus C, C means E of A dot B. A dot B means what? Nabla dot nabla, that means minus nabla square. So that is given here. 3D wave equation for electromagnetic waves. Here the equations are given by comparing again the same thing, by which we can get the velocity of light, that is c equal to 1 by root over of mu naught epsilon naught equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So this is about the free space in Maxwell's equation. Now again in the same proof, just showing you electromagnetic waves in vacuum. Okay, vacuum means obviously mu will be mu naught and epsilon will be epsilon naught. So nabla cross E equal to nabla of nabla dot E minus nabla square E equal to, now nabla dot E equal to obviously 0. So that's why equal to minus nabla cross E equal to minus del V by del T. Now this we can say from the Maxwell's equation. So minus of nabla del G of nabla cross B equal to minus mu naught epsilon naught del square E by del T square. This one, okay. This one we have, it's written here. So now nabla cross B equal to nabla of nabla dot B means V of A dot C, back minus V of A dot B equal to nabla dot B equal to since 0. That's why now equal to nabla of nabla B. Nabla B means what? Mu naught epsilon naught del E by del T. See, that is given here. So therefore mu naught epsilon naught del T of B equal to nabla cross E. So it's given here. Therefore nabla square E equal to mu naught epsilon naught del square E by del T square. So now nabla square B equal to mu naught epsilon naught del square B del T square. So finally the wave equation, this one you may skip, okay, in 3D. This is another signature, but you may skip it, okay. Up to this, we must have to remember. So finally, in conclusion, what we can say that here in by the today's lecture, first we have to practice the total derivation of the wave equation of all the wave equation for electric and magnetic field, and then there are some problems given, and also we have to prove how we can get the value of the velocity of light, that is c equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8, that is given here, and these are another numerical and problem also, and that is your assignment. This is another proof. Now I'm going to show you a video.
In the modern world, we humans are completely surrounded by electromagnetic radiation. Have you ever thought of the physics behind these traveling electromagnetic waves? The great scientist Heinrich Hertz was the first man to transmit. In his famous experiment, a high voltage current was applied to the two ends of two metal wires, which generated a spark in the gap between them. This spark resulted in the radiation of electromagnetic waves. Those electromagnetic waves traveled through the air and created a spark in a metal coil located over 1 meter away. If you had placed an LED in that gap, the bulb would have glowed. This was a clear case of electromagnetic wave propagation and detection. However, before Hertz, the brilliant mathematician James Clerk Maxwell had already laid out the foundations for electromagnetic radiation by formulating 4 mathematical equations. However, these equations and the Hertz experiment raised the question: how do electromagnetic fields detach themselves from wires and propagate through a space? More specifically, what we need is a traveling electromagnetic wave and not a fluctuating one. Let's explore this logically. Consider an electric charge, which is moving at a constant speed. The electric field around it is shown. Now, imagine for a fraction of a second, it accelerates. After that, it continues its uniform motion at a higher speed. What we need to understand is the effect of this acceleration on the electric field. The interesting thing is that the information does not travel at an infinite speed. Instead, it travels at the speed of light. Similarly, the information about the sudden variation of velocity of the charge does not get conveyed to the whole electric field region. The field near it knows about it, but the field far away still has no idea that the charge has accelerated and it is still in the old state. Let's separate out these regions with the help of 2 circles. Since the electric field cannot break, the field between these distances must transition. This transition field is known as a kink. The kink moves or radiates outwards at the speed of light. To show the kink animation in a clear way, let's move the camera along with the charge. We can say here that the acceleration of the charge has caused an electromagnetic disturbance or electromagnetic radiation. Based on this understanding, we will be able to understand the most important experiment in the field of antenna technology, the oscillating electric dipole. The interesting fact about this simple oscillating dipole is that it produces electromagnetic radiation in a perfectly sinusoidal manner. Let's see how it is achieved. Before getting into the electromagnetics, let's understand how velocity and acceleration vary in this simple case. It is clear that at both ends the velocities should be 0, and in the middle the velocity should be at the maximum. This means that this is a case of continuous acceleration and deceleration. The electric field pattern is drawn here when the chargers are far apart and when the velocity is 0. In order to have a better understanding, Let's examine one of the electric field lines. Let's observe the electric field line at T by 8. You can see that the electric field line is deformed. The reason for this deformation is simple. This time period is the region with the highest acceleration. As we saw earlier, accelerating or decelerating charges cause kinks in the electric field. In short, the old electric field does not get adjusted to the new field very well. This deformation is continuous since there is continuous acceleration in the charge. When two charges meet at the central point, the deformed line also meets there. After that, it detaches and radiates. This radiation travels at the speed of light. If you plot an electric field intensity variation with respect to length, you can see that the radiation we have produced is perfectly sinusoidal in nature. Please note that this varying electric field will automatically generate a varying magnetic field perpendicular to it. Now, let's have a look at how this applies to an antenna. A time-varying voltage is applied to the metal wire as shown. Due to the effect of the voltage, the electrons will be displaced from right to left and create positive and negative charges. With the continuous variation of voltage, the positive and negative charges will shuttle back and forth in the wire. This simple arrangement is known as a dipole antenna. The dipole antenna produces the same radiation as we saw in the previous section. In this case, the antenna works as a transmitter. The frequency of the transmitted signal will be the same as the frequency of the applied voltage signal. The same antenna can act as a receiver if the operation of the antenna is reversed. When propagating electromagnetic waves strike the antenna, the oscillating fields of waves create positive and negative charges at the ends of the antenna. The varying charge accumulation means a varying voltage signal is produced at the center of the antenna. This voltage signal is the output when the antenna works as a receiver. We can note here that for perfect transmission or reception, the length of the antenna should be half of the wavelength. This is the first antenna design criterion for proper reception or transmission. The second most important design criterion is a term called impedance matching. Perfect impedance matching will make sure that the waves are radiated in the most efficient way. When an alternating current passes through a circuit, it faces opposition from the combined effects of resistance, inductance, and capacitance. This combined effect is known as impedance. According to the maximum power transfer theorem, to transfer the maximum amount of power, the load impedance should match with the source impedance. For further understanding, let's take an example of a circuit containing an alternator as a source and a motor, bulb, etc. as a load. In this setup, to achieve maximum power transfer from alternator to the load, the impedance of the load must match with the impedance of the alternator. A similar impedance balance is required in the case of an antenna system. Since an antenna works on high-frequency signals, the impedance of the transmission lines also becomes important. Hence, to achieve maximum power, the impedance of an antenna should match to the impedance of the source and transmission line as well.
So I hope by this video the concept of electromagnetic wave, the wave equation, all the concepts are clear to you. And if you have any question, then you must ask. So thank you for today.